रियल मैड्रिड फैंस को कमबैक चाहिए था, कमबैक हो गया। आज बारसा ने सेल्टा डे वीगो को 4-3 हराया है। 3-1 डाउन थे, 60th मिनट पे 4-3 हराया है। लमीन यमाल, डैनी ओल्मो मास्टर क्लास दे रहे हैं। ऑनेस्टली टॉप गेम फॉर अ न्यूट्रल फैन। एज अ बारसा फैन आई हैव सर्टन इश्यूज टू डील, आई हैव सर्टन कंप्लेंट्स। ऑल्दो आई डोंट नो मेनी सेल्टा फैंस, बट सेल्टा फैंस को ऑब्वियसली बहुत ज़्यादा डिसअपॉइंटमेंट हुआ रहेगा। दे वर on their way to win the match. They were on their way to get a victory against a tabletop Barcelona, but somehow again in this season repetitively वापस देखा है बारसा mentality monsters, never give up spirit. जिस हिसाब से खेल रहे हैं, they are playing with hunger, they are playing with some, they have a goal, they want to win the goal, that's it. they उनके दिमाग में जो गोल है, they want it, we all know what the goal is. But here is something that I am very, I'm not going to say disappointed. मैं disappointed तो हुई नहीं. Obviously I'm grateful, I'm enjoying being a Barca fan right now in 2025. But एक चीज़ है जो मेरे दिमाग में बार बार आती है. It came against the Dortmund game. It has been in many games this season. It's not like it's the first time. December के महीने में we had 3 or 4 games in La Liga where we couldn't get a victory. We weren't winning. Line से 4 games, we had 3 losses and 1 draw or something like that. But I am going to mention one thing here, that is the rigidity of Hansi Flick and the rigidity of this Barcelona side. The way that they are playing, even though they have gotten the results out, they have been उनके तरह से ये सीजन का जो प्लान था, the tactical plan of Hansi Flick has worked out. It has totally worked out. The plan A that he had, the plan A, जो एक मॉडल बनाया है इस टीम को, उसके ऊपर ही ये टीम चल रही है. They are giving their results, 100% they are giving their results. But what happens on the day that plan A does not work? I want to talk about what happens on the day that plan A is प्लान ए का एक काउंटर बन चुका है, एक प्लान ए के लिए एक काउंटर अटैक बन चुका है, और मे बी काउंटर टैक्टिक बन चुका है, जिससे वी आर एक्सपोज्ड. What we saw today was not exactly a counter tactic, but we were exposed. We were being exposed again and again. And the one thing that could expose us, everyone knows it, is the high line. See, you could argue with me कि अरे हाई लाइन के वजह से अभी तक के 200 ऑफसाइड ट्रैप्स हो चुके हैं एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. बट you can't go into a top European game, you can't go into a top UCL game, semi-final, second leg or UCL final, and expect the team to not crumble once they have 3 goal deficit. If you are losing against a team like PSG or Arsenal, or maybe you're losing against Inter 3 goal से, even though they have done it before, but you have to understand teams crumble. हर गेम अलग होती है. Even though we've done it before doesn't mean we can do it every game. And I would understand if Hansi Flick would go and try out something else, even though this is not the time to try out. Is moment pe if you ask a manager to try something different than what he's been doing all season long, it would be basically खुद के पैर पे कुल्हाड़ी मारना. You wouldn't ask any manager to do it, and any manager wouldn't do it. Any sane manager wouldn't do it, because the tactic that he's been using, plan A, is working. Plan A चल रहा है, plan A results भी दे रहा है. But what happens when it doesn't give you the results? अब मुझे आना है इस metric पे. Even though we have had players who are playing an amazing season, we have had players who are playing an amazing season, we have had players who are giving goals, goal contributions, goals and assists, everything. What I understand from this team is the fact that ये season, the entirety of ये season एक over performance है. ये पूरा season is an over performance of players अपने regular performance पे से step up कर रहे हैं, and all thanks to Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick ने उस हिसाब से ही train किया है इस team को. This team has been trained to over perform, and this team has been trained as so the over performance seems normal. It genuinely, Hansi Flick, what he's done is genuinely turned the players so much, इतना drastic change ला दिया है कि इतने बड़े डिफरेंसेस इन गोल्स एंड असिस्ट कंट्रीब्यूशन नॉर्मल हो जाए. You want your players to play at their best in and out every week, but what I understand is you can't always expect players to play their best game. अभी इस मैट्रिक से समझ में आ रहा है कि रफीनिया ने इस सीजन 51 गोल एंड असिस्ट कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस दे चुका है. ही इज गिवन गोल्स एंड असिस्ट 51 times out of 49 games. He's given more goal contributions than he's played games. To put into context, Vinicius Junior का Ballon d'Or season, the one last season when people were saying he was robbed, he gave I think 29 or 30 goal contributions in maybe 42 games or something. That was like, I genuinely don't understand if this season Rafinha is playing abnormal or this was his standard and he was just not being used properly. I am not very sure, वो तो time ही बता पाएगा. But it's not just Rafinha, it is Lamine Yamal, it is Lewandowski, it is Dani Olmo also. Even though he's been injured many times this season, he's been injured 4 times maybe. अब तक के season में 4 बार injury हो चुकी है. He still overperformed. उसने उसके goal and assist contributions 7 गोल से ओवर परफॉर्म किए हैं. Ferran Torres, guys, Ferran Torres has been a regular substitute. He's not even been a starter. He's coming off the bench, and the games that he's starting is smaller games, weaker teams ke against. He's been given his chances, but this goes to show what overperformance Hansi Flick is bringing out in his team. Ferran Torres is overperforming. He's already scored maybe 16 goals in the league, 16 or 17 goals in the league, and he's given 5 assists. It's not a small number. It's not small. तुम अपने players से ये numbers तब expect करते हो when you are you've seen them play like this for the first season, second season, but we haven't seen Ferran Torres do this. We haven't seen Rafinha do this. We haven't seen Dani Olmo. Maybe Dani Olmo used to do it, but he didn't do it in La Liga. So this is something that I want to express. Another thing is the fact that Barça this season has one more metric which they haven't had in the past few seasons, and we don't expect Barça to have, but this is the reason they should do it more. And the reason that Barca has more goal contributions, the most goals scored in Europe, is because of this. People overlook कर रहे हैं, but hey, it is because of this. It is the fact that Barca is trying to take more shots outside the box. In this game itself, you could see Barca ने 230 passes किए final third में. 230 passes in the final third it's not a small number. Even when you're playing against a side like Celta Vigo, 230 passes in the final third shows तुम्हारे player कितने willing है to try and take an attempt towards goal and make it make sense. You can't get into shot taking position when you have defenders like 11 में से 10 defender या 8 defender या 9 defender are trying to stay in the box. They had a deep block. You can't expect Barca to penetrate that deep block so easily. They did it, but it's not as easy. They had 34 passes outside the box. They had 8 shots inside the box. That it's not easy. It's not easy, guys. 8 shot outside the box लेना and 10 shot box के अंदर लेना, जिसमें से you are converting 4 goals. It's not easy. 8 shots outside the box just shows how this Barca side is trying to bring goals out of nowhere. They're overperforming, yes, but they're bringing goals because they're getting into such positions. The only downside to this match was the fact there were 2 downsides. The fact that Lewandowski got injured. We have big games coming up. And the second thing is the fact that the high line. If Hansi Flick can somehow come up with a strategy to revitalize this defensive line, maybe he could. It's been working crazy. I'm not going to lie. I have no complaints as a Barca fan. मुझे कोई complaint है नहीं. But अगर बाल्डे इंजर हो जाता है या कुबारसी या इनिगो मार्टिनेज और maybe कुंडे इंजर हो जाता, you can expect injuries. Injuries are a part of such a tough schedule. But what does Hansi Flick do so that his side does not go down defensively? आज की गेम में बोर्गे इग्लेसियस ने 3 गोल मारा क्योंकि he had the chances, उसने in behind runs निकाले और हमारे दोनों डिफेंडर्स हाई लाइन रखे थे. It's going to be expected. Even though we scored 4 goals, if we do this against Inter in the second leg, if we do this in the UCL final, if we do this in Copa del Rey final, it's not going to work, guys. I genuinely don't see if Barca can keep doing this again and again, and if they keep doing, which I hope so, I don't want my team to be in such positions, but if they do it, I would be proud. But I don't think teams like Real Madrid, even though they've not been as good this season, teams like Real Madrid, Inter Milan, they don't fuck around, guys. Teams like Arsenal and PSG, they won't give you opportunities. The 230 passes in the final third, teams like PSG don't let you do that. Teams like Arsenal don't let you have 230 passes in the final third. They don't let you get into positions जहाँ पर तुम 8 shots लो बॉक्स के बाहर से and 10 shots लो बॉक्स के अंदर से. It's not easy to do that against big teams in Europe. So if Hansi Flick can, somehow I would, मैं अगर Hansi Flick के जगह होता, even though that is a big fucking stretch, but if I would have been, in a circumstance right now where I could revitalize or maybe tweak something, why doesn't Hansi Flick try to play Gerard Martin, because he's so good defensively? Play Gerard Martin as the third centre back. Don't ask him to go forward. Play him as the third centre back. Try to have your number 10. फर्मीन ने आज पूरी गेम खेली लेफ्ट साइड पे, अगर उसको थोड़ा सा ड्रिफ्ट करने बोलते, ट्राई टू मेक सम चांसेस फ्रॉम द लेफ्ट साइड, यू कुड सी हाउ बाल्डे का एब्सेंस, even though it wouldn't have been fully neglected, but बाल्डे का एब्सेंस को थोड़ा सा इग्नोर किया जा सकता था. But trying to make Gerard Martin do the same thing that Balde did, it's not going to work. In the longer run, it's not going to work, even though Hansi Flick knows what he's doing. But I saw these flaws in the game. I think Dani Olmo के आने के बाद we won the game, and if Dani Olmo wouldn't have come, we wouldn't have given on the performance. Lamine Yamal, guys, he's been playing all season long like this, so I don't have to say what he's done tonight. But I think this is the flaw that Barca has. I saw this against Dortmund, I saw this tonight as well. If we work on this and we truly somehow bring some revitalization to this, we could genuinely be unstoppable. Even though we have been unstoppable, we could be literally unstoppable, and we have a plan B. It's always good to have a plan B. So I think that is how it's going to be. Anyways, guys, see you next time.